Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome again to The Drop. I am joined with my bud, the one, the only, Jordan Michelo.
What's up, buddy? How you doing today?
I'm actually really great, dude. It's a beautiful day.
It's
I
beautiful.
Yard work, and I feel like I'm doing yard work every day. But, no, things are good, man. You?
Good. Yeah, things are good.
Yeah.
I walk outside all day for my day job, and
Yes.
it's pretty chill.
You catch a pretty good tan, I would assume.
Probably.
Yeah. Do you wear one of the big sun hats?
I used to, but then I don't know. Like after a while, those things get like all salty and gross, and you're like,
Is it like a helmet or is it a hat?
They got both. They got like a safari hat. They have like a hat. But yeah,
The safari hat's pretty sick.
safari hat's so goofy though when you actually put it on, because it's like one of those. Do you remember those like baseball helmets when you're a kid and they have like the little
Inner liner.
Yeah, and it's the helmet's not touching you. It's just like an inner liner. You're basically like
That
that's
sounds
the vibe.
refreshing.
I'll try it again and I'll
Maximum
let you know.
airflow.
Maybe I'll rock one on next week's episode or something.
Dude,
We'll see.
That would be really sick.
They're pretty
actually.
fun. They're pretty funny, but they don't flow very well on the outside. They just are like it's like wearing a helmet.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably wear it at some of those ski resorts where helmets are required now.
There's resorts that have that like requirement.
Like
full on?
Whistler's Big Park, I think you have to wear a helmet to go through.
I've heard that actually.
Yeah.
But like, are there somewhere you have just to go on hill?
I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future that's what
Yeah,
it
that'll
is.
become a thing.
But you know where you do have to wear helmets?
Where's that?
Especially as a camper?
Snowboard camp?
Summer
Are we
camps.
talking some high cascade windows?
Yeah, I
now?
mean, we don't have to necessarily just talk about High Cascade, or I believe it's called We Are Camp now. But yeah, just like kind of, I figured today's episode would be fun to do like different options of snowboarding that you have during the summer, you know?
Yeah.
But
Snowboard
anyway.
in a mall now too.
I didn't even think about that until you just said it. So that's another good
Kinda
one. We'll
crazy.
bring that up too.
Yeah.
But first off, to start the show, make sure you guys go and check out thedropsnowboarding.com. Obviously, you can get links. We got the store up. Everything's kind of cruising and rolling. I still like that design. I might have to just drop one in on myself.
Pretty
Whatever.
nice.
I don't even know what to say.
That was a fun one.
And then the other thing that we've been doing lately, guys, is doing a little shout out to things that we like and some things that we think are cool. So you chose what?
Autumn Line Productions. So they used to make snowboard films, and they just started up Instagram, kind of reposting some cool stuff. And I was stoked. They posted my brother Jonas and Pat Lynch.
Yeah, I
There's
saw
all
this in
sorts
the
of
Pat
cool
Lynch.
stuff, dude. This look at his arms, so
know.
sick. Like I don't think there's been a cooler landing than that.
Fun fact: Pat Lynch was the first sponsored like snowboarder I ever met.
Really?
Yeah, he lived in Colorado with one of my best friends from high school.
Yeah.
And like I went over to their condo, and he had a stack of like the blank M4 boards right when
Yeah,
it started, and I was just, oh my gosh, it was like life changing.
I met Pat around that time too.
Yep.
He rocked the double tall tee, which I thought was he'd always rock like two.
Oh yeah. Well, that was tall tees were so sick then.
Yeah, he stepped it up with the double. I was like, oh, okay.
I always
Not
thought it
messing
was
around.
funny because it wasn't necessarily about the width; it was about the length. You know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that at first, so I thought all these people were just buying really big shirts. So I went to like Finish Line in the mall and bought like seven XL t-shirts, and it was just hilarious because they're just like flapping around behind me, and everyone's like, "What are you wearing?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's my tall tee," and they're like, they're tall tees. They're not. They're not big tees. And I had no idea. I was like, what in the world? But yeah, so I was just like kind of cracking up. I was such a goof then. I didn't know because that wasn't a thing for me yet, you know.
Yeah, you're new
But
to it.
all the cool kids are about it. But yeah, no, big shouts to Autumn Line. They're sick.
Be cool if they did some stuff in the future. They just always had such a cool, unique look.
I always really like their videos too.
Yep.
I've got a couple of them. Love to just sit down and watch a couple.
Do you have From Nowhere? I think they were Hardwire Productions, but I had a split part in there with Jason Kell.
I don't
Isn't
know.
that crazy?
I know that Jason Kell did have a few shots in like Montevideo and some stuff because they did a bunch of stuff out in Tahoe for a long
Yep.
time.
You can see right there.
Yep. Yeah.
Tahoe Woodrail.
Yep.
That Robert?
Yep. I've never hit actually that one.
We hit that thing for fun as like a double line, and then Jonas ollied it, and then just rode into the water.
There's a couple of these all in South Lake, these wood rails. But anyway, off topic. Autumn Line Productions.
Check 'em out.
Make sure you guys go check them out. Big shouts to everybody over there. And yeah, shouts to Robbie Sell.
Porter Bros.
And then I went with another throwback like video company, Bangin' Bees. So if you guys haven't seen these guys, they've been posting sick clips. Their clips are a little bit older. Like, I know they posted an M3 or not an M3, a MFM clip the other day. Is Jeff Anderson, dude?
That's so sick.
Pretty insane right there. Big Bear. That rail's huge. I still haven't seen anybody go sideways through that thing yet, have they?
It's been board slid.
Did somebody board sled? Oh, did Scott Blum do it?
I'm bad with remembering who did what.
There's just so many clips nowadays. It's so hard to remember everyone's different stuff. But anyway, these guys Bangin' Bees, if you aren't yet, make sure you give them a follow. They're just kind of sick because, I mean, both of those are just kind of sick because they're an insight into like old snowboarding. You see so much new stuff nowadays, you know, that seeing some like old photos and old clips are pretty sick.
I agree.
So
Nostalgia for us old men.
nostalgia for sure. And a little history lesson for the young bucks, you know?
That's true.
All right. Well, this episode,
Snowboard camps.
summer snowboarding. Summer camps included.
Okay.
What is your experience?
I used to go to Mount Hood a lot. Every summer for quite a few years. High Cascade when
Working?
it
Did you
was.
work at camp?
No, I was lucky enough to usually get like a sponsored pass or whatever.
Yeah.
Through whatever a brand they
Yeah.
kind of set it up, and then you'd help out as much as you can when you're up there. But I do like a week usually, like one session, and then hang out with my friends up there, and then we'd usually drive down the coast, then go surf. It was pretty
that'd be
fun.
pretty sweet.
But how about you? You worked there as a digger.
I did work at High Cascade pretty briefly. But then I went to Wendell's as like a guest, like not a guest coach, but as like a guest team writer or whatever for Tech 9.
Yeah, when they did that.
And then I also went to, and I used to go to Hood all the time also. So for those of you guys that don't know, Mount Hood is located in Oregon. It's about, an hour outside of Portland.
Yep.
And it's just kind of sweet because that glacier kind of carries snow all throughout the entire winter. So, or I'm sorry, all throughout the entire summer. So you can snowboard all winter there and then go snowboarding pretty much all summer. And it's fun because you can like go camping and there's all the, you're in Oregon, which is just beautiful in general. So
yeah, everyone's around. It's pretty good time.
Yeah, it's a really good time.
I got to go back.
I know. I've been meaning to go, and I would love to go for just a few days and maybe get a hotel room instead of just camping now. But
I've camped on hill, and it got very cold at night. We didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Like, it's July, dude. It's fine.
I slept in the car for a few weeks up there. Before ever getting like hired or anything like that. So it's fun, man. It's kind of fun though, because there's also like that whole group of people that are also up there doing it.
Yeah.
So you're not alone, and there's like it's a fun time for sure.
Yeah. Living off of sunflower seeds and just
gummy
water.
general.
Yeah, whatever you get your hands on.
Yeah, there's like the few couple of bars that are down there, pretty fun. But yeah, make sure you guys if you do want to stay in America. There's a couple of options, right? There's Mount Hood, and
Wendell's.
then there's
Not Wendell's, Woodward.
Yeah, Woodward Copper. Woodward Copper in Colorado is super cool. The only thing about there is when you're up there, you're pretty locked in. There's not a lot of other stuff going on besides camp, you know. And to my knowledge, you can't. You have to be affiliated with the camp. You can't just like go up and go snowboarding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So unless you're a camper at Woodward, then I guess there is still snowboarding in Colorado because there's like St. Mary's Glacier and there's some other spots that you can go up and hike, but there's no chairlifts or anything like that.
Yeah, where you get that in Mount Hood, where you can ride
Totally.
public, top of the hill, whatever.
Yep. Anyone can just go buy a day ticket and you can go snowboarding at Mount Hood in the middle of the summer. There's the whole public park. Then there's also the camp park. And I believe it's no longer... I know for a fact that it's no longer High Cascade and Wendell's. I believe it's just We Are Park. Or We Are Camp. We Are Camp now.
Okay. Because it it was kind of High Cascade for a little bit. Like they took it over and then
Yeah, well, I think
they
that
switched the name.
I think that how it went was High Cascade just became their snowboard section of everything, and then skiing became Wendell's. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a few years since I've been up there, and actually, I don't know the exact details of all that because it's been a while. I haven't been attached to it.
Yeah.
I did get asked to coach a few years ago.
With
It was
Blaze,
a very
right?
hectic time.
For Blaze's session?
No,
Or
I think a part of that, but also just they were looking for like adult camp coaches, you know. But yeah, it's a fun time up there for sure. The other option that you have for snowboarding this summer that you mentioned, which I had forgotten, is in New York City now, or technically in New Jersey.
They got that mall.
Yeah, big American Dream.
So you get a Cinnabon and go snowboarding.
Yeah, and I think there's
wild.
a wave pool in there too. You can go surfing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is crazy. But yeah, talk about the trifecta, just all in one building.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Buy a gift for your mom on the way out after snowboarding. It's kind of tight.
I really want to go. We should go. We should check it out this summer. I'm curious how much like a cheap round trip ticket is to New York.
Get a day pass there.
Yeah, and the tickets are really reasonable. I looked online, and I think they're only like $35. But they do it in like sections. So you have like 2-hour segment, 2-hour segment, whatever. So, and I think it's like per that. But yeah, we'll have to check it out. It would be super fun.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that is kind of a bummer about there, if you're like a big park guy or something like that, they're not going to have like big jumps, big rails. And I found out why, actually. It's because they're not allowed to build
up to a certain height,
up to a certain depth of snow, because the weight gets too great in a single spot.
Oh.
But I had a perfect solution. I said, why don't you build features out of like wood underneath,
just throw it on top,
and then put the snow over the top of it, so you just have a massive like hollow area underneath. But
it'd be cool just to go there and just understand how they do everything. Like how
the
do you guys
mechanics
actually
of
do
it?
snow and get water in here and all that? Like,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I don't think they have like a mister. I think it's like just man-made snow that they just keep moving and shoving into different spots. I mean, I guess it would have to melt eventually, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Get pretty chunky if, just recycling the same. There's got to be something.
There's something for sure. And it's just one massive ice fridge.
Or another thing we used to do actually here in Minnesota is we'd get Zamboni snow.
True.
All summer long. We just set up a little bench or rail. You can do that in July.
Mean, yeah, for
90 degrees.
Yeah.
The trick is to get some salt, throw it on top, and it actually lasts a lot longer than you'd think.
Yeah, and you could definitely set up like a little rail in your backyard if you had a truck, or even if you wanted to for the day, you could go to like U-Haul and rent like a 10x10 box truck and just load that thing up with ice arena snow.
You just got to hope they have enough snow because they kind of put it out like at random times.
Yeah.
We used to know the schedule pretty well. We're like, all right, 4 o'clock, they're going to dump.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of research in order to get that going. But any place usually is pretty chill with you taking it. They're like, okay, that's weird, but sure.
So what are you doing? Throwing it into a minivan? And how do you got to, we'd like roll like 10 cars deep, just loading trunks up, whatever, with a big rail on someone's back of their truck.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
It is fun. It's really fun. But you know what? Okay, so that would certainly be on the low budge end of summer snowboarding.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But now if you wanted to go on the high end budge, what are you thinking?
Like New Zealand or something?
Bingo. So that's the other option. So if you're here located in the States like we are, or in the Northern Hemisphere, there's only a few options. So you have Mount Hood, you have Big Snow or American Dream, and then you have traveling abroad. And I've been to Australia and New Zealand. I've never been to South America, though. So you can go, the 3 options are South America, Australia, New Zealand, to my off the top of my head immediate knowledge of like where ski resorts are. And down there, it's winter. So you're going to full on, like, bring your Gore-Tex or whatever you want to do. And you're going like real deal snowboarding, chairlifts, cold weather.
Like cold. Like it's like, like straight up. Yeah.
Like it's winter. So it's a trip, man. Because you aren't expecting it. And because a lot of the cities are a lot lower, it's like kind of going to like flying to San Diego, even in the winter. You know, even in the winter, San Diego is still pretty warm.
Yep.
But then you drive a few hours and you're up in the mountains in Big Bear, you know, and it can be cold and crazy. So it's a trip there, but it's really pretty. New Zealand is like one of the sickest places I've ever been in my life. Like, it's amazing.
Just in general, or like the riding was pretty cool?
Just in general, the snowboarding actually in New Zealand. I mean, we just went to Snow Park, and it was sick for sure, you know, but the actual town is amazing. It's like right on the water. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's well, I mean, it's really easy to explain. Go watch Lord of the Rings. Like, it's crazy. It's beautiful. But the mountains don't like have a bunch of like, you're not like snowboarding through the trees or anything like that. You know, it's pretty barren up on top where the snowboarding is.
It's like a full-on mountain, though. Is it pretty big?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's big. Snow Park, which I'm not sure if Snow Park is even around anymore. I feel like it's gone. But it was probably the size of like Boreal, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So not huge, like a Woodward Park City type size.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not your Highland Hills. It's not your, like...
It's not a Breckenridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely like a smaller mountain. But then when down in Australia, though, I went to a couple places, but like this one place, Falls Creek, it's really cool. It's like built into a town. And so like the runs like go through places. And
no way.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's always been a dream of mine since I was a kid.
To snowboard through a town or like through a city?
Just through a city. I don't know why. Just like always was like, oh, get your coffee and a baguette and jump over a car. And
that would be really cool. You just like start at the top of the mountain and run your errands.
Yeah.
Like going back through town on your way home.
Drop off groceries at the house, hop back on the chairlift and make it all the way up and do it again.
That would be pretty sick. That would be really cool.
Someday.
I've been to a couple places where you can snowboard through a town, and it's pretty neat. For sure. It's really cool. But yeah, so Falls Creek is really cool. And then there's also a big town there called Jindy. And from there, there's Threadbow Resort and Perisher Resort that are like two different places. So that's kind of like the best way I could describe that is like Frisco in Colorado or Silverthorne in Colorado, and Copper is one way and Breckenridge is another way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. But those are the places that I've been. And they're cool, man. But it's just rad because you're like back in winter. And it's like actual snowboarding, full-on real resort. Super cool. Perisher's Park is super rad. Threadbow's been doing a lot of like cool stuff lately too. So it's fun down there.
Another one I just thought of in the States, Beartooth Pass.
What's that?
It's in Montana.
Oh.
So a lot of backcountry stuff was like shot there in some of the old robot food videos, but I've definitely gone there in like June, July.
Okay.
It's on the outskirts of Yellowstone.
All right.
And it's just kind of a free for all. There's a lot of snow though.
You
gotta wait for the pass to open up.
There's
no resort, but a lot of people go up there. I remember we just run into other film crews and all sorts of people. Yeah. Like all summer, anytime you'd go. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
But yeah, it's like snowmobile, but there's a lot of stuff you can just see from the side of the road and just strap in and go ride. But it is hiking.
I mean, it's still pretty sick.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're snowboarding in the summer, it's pretty fun. When you can go snowboarding and then be barbecuing afterward, it's pretty sick.
That's true.
That's for sure.
That's true.
But yeah, and then lastly, of course, is South America, which I've never been. Have you ever been down there?
No, my brother's done like Chile.
Okay.
And he said that was really, really cool. Yeah. But just for the adventure aspect of it. But someday, man, I want to get down there. Yeah, my family's from Peru, so it'd be cool to get down in that region and
knock on some doors.
Yeah. Say what up. Do
what
some
up, fam?
Snowboarding.
What up, fam? Show me the sick spots.
Yeah. Take me to your kicker.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I hope that brief little conversation we had enlightens you as to some of the options you have for snowboarding. I'd love to try and get over to Big Snow and do some indoor jibbing.
We should do something like that.
That would be sick.
And hey, people in the comments, let us know where you go, where you're trying to go, all that stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because we should do one of these things.
We should do one of them.
We'll figure it out.
Right now, I'm not sure South America's Well, for
That's
I mean, it's burning some budge right there.
Yeah.
We need you guys to join that Patreon. We really need to go to South America.
give us your money, or we'll just go to New Jersey for free. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway,
They're
guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in, sharing all the good stuff. Make sure you guys subscribe along on YouTube. And until next week, Big Dog.
Adios.
Adios, homie.
Have a good trip.
ya.
We'll see you soon.
Later, guys.